prone core plank really is one of the best core training exercises that you can do. I think some people discount it because they do it and they do it wrong, and then they say, well, it really isn't hard enough or something like that. Remember, the core, the muscles of your torso don't have to work at maximum intensity. It shouldn't feel like a max set of squats. They need to work at a relatively low intensity, be very smart, and have lots of stamina so they can work away to stabilize. Even think of when you are making a save, when you have to use your torso to help keep your shoulders aligned over your hips as you're doing a lateral movement. You're not feeling like, oh wow, my core is working so hard. It just has to turn on with just the right amount of force at exactly the right time. So when you do your core plank, I want you to make it active, not lazy. So you're going to think about squeezing your quads, squeezing your bum, bracing with your abdominals, being strong in the shoulders, not lazy in the shoulders. And you're going to hold that position, making sure you're in a nice straight line. I see a lot of this and a lot of that on people when they just come to the gym to work out. Okay, so that's one. If it really is, getting pretty easy for you, I've got a way to make it harder, don't worry. You knew I would. What you're going to do is pull your elbows towards your toes and your toes up towards your elbows. So your body shouldn't really shift, but you're going to do what's called an isometric contraction. So I'm pulling my elbows towards my toes, I'm pulling my toes up toward my elbows, and wow, that makes your core plank a lot more difficult. It puts a lot more load on your abdominals. So start with the basics, get the technique perfect, brace, strong glutes, strong quads, strong shoulders. But then when it truly is a little bit too easy for you, add in that isometric action and it'll be like a whole new exercise for you. One of the things we'll talk about a lot in our agility training is establishing that perfect point of balance and establishing it as quickly as possible because it sets you up, it lays the foundation for your next powerful and explosive maneuver. So we're going to just work on our single leg balance. Our knee is slightly bent. We're keeping good knee alignment, hips level, shoulders level. I don't want you relying on your hands to balance you because that's not going to be very effective when you're on the ice. So what we're going to do is cross our arms and then see if you can do this for 30 or 60 seconds without, your foot wandering or without having to put your other foot down. Once you can do that, you're going to close just one eye. So we're taking away a little bit of your visual input. Once you can do that for 30 to 60 seconds without traveling or tipping over, then you're going to close both your eyes. And if you start to, have to travel with your foot, just open your eyes, reset. I don't want you half hopping down the stairs or anything like that. So make sure you're in a safe environment when you do that exercise. But I think you'll be amazed at how once you take away your visual input and you just have to rely on the proprioception and your body's response to that, it's going to be much, much more challenging. This is a quadruped Superman. So again, trying to work spinal stabilizers that need to work at a low intensity, but have good endurance and know when to turn on and how much to turn on and really have precise control of what your spine is doing. So we're going to get a nice neutral back position, so not rounded and not sagging, just neutral. I say you should be able to balance a big bucket of water on your back and not spill a drop. And then you're going to reach. Again, don't make it lazy. Reach with your fingers. Reach through your heel. Contract your glutes. And you'll hold in that position for the required amount of time. Then you'll come back down. Don't touch down. Just come back down and up again. And you're really trying not to wiggle at all. So if you're wiggling like that, you still have a lot of work to do, even though it might not feel overly difficult. If you want to make it harder, once you've mastered it, then simply pick up this back toe and don't rest it on the floor. And that will really make the exercise a lot more challenging. I think you'll actually be surprised at how much harder that makes the quadruped Superman. This is called the Pallof press, and not everyone calls it the Pallof press because some people, including some of my mentors, don't like naming things after people, so it's supposed to be called anti-rotation press or something, but we're going to call it Pallof press. So I'm doing it with a cable. You could just as easily do it with a bungee. But the key is to stand perpendicular to the line of pull. So I'm here, my knees are bent, my chest is up, I'm strong in my torso, I'm bracing a little bit with my abdominals, and then I'm pushing straight out in front of me. So really, you can see the weight stack, it's not going anywhere, but it's trying to pull me this way. And I have to use my rotary stabilizers to stay nice and square. So if you're doing it right, the weight stack shouldn't be going anywhere because you're stabilizing that. So when my hands are in close, it's quite easy because it's not a very long lever arm. But as I take my arms away, then the magnitude of that pull is greater. I might be using the wrong term. Someone will email me, I'm sure. But the lever arm is longer, so there's more of a torque force that I have to stabilize against. There's your high school physics for the day.